If you're planning to watch the latest Jason Statham action film, you can expect that the main storyline is not the primary focus, but rather a secondary aspect. It's important to note that you shouldn't anticipate any realistic or immersive character development in the game. I made a few lighthearted comments to a few individuals before my screening began, suggesting that Statham doesn't have to make a decision between using an American accent or not. His accent is simply Statham. One could say the same about his movies. They shamelessly borrow ideas from other movies to the extent that accusing his action films of copying John Wick or any Michael Bay production feels like focusing on a small piece of wood while the entire tree is falling on your face. Since the ability to incorporate the best elements of the genre into your own unique style, ultimately establishing your own brand of action movies, is crucial for an action star, your name becomes a recognizable trademark. Statham has achieved it. You can only evaluate Statham's work based on the standards he has set for himself. Nothing surprising happens in A Working Man, his second collaboration with David Ayer following the entertainingly outlandish assassin revenge movie, The Beekeeper. Like that film, Statham plays a badass in quiet hibernation. In this scene, we meet Levon Cade, a construction foreman employed by a company owned by a compassionate Joe Garcia, Michael Pena. This website does not pay attention to his military history, a heartbreaking tale that is presented in an animated sequence that includes a cement truck with a mixer resembling a grenade. His peaceful existence is disrupted when Joe's daughter, Jenny Irina Rivas, is abducted by human traffickers working for a Russian mobster. Despite Joe offering him a significant amount of money to retrieve Jenny, for Levon, this is a matter of principle. He assured Jenny he would always be there for her, and he's not about to break his word. Going any deeper into the film's overloaded plot is probably a fool's errand, but here are a couple of other notes. Levon is a widower who retired from the army in the hopes of gaining custody of his precocious daughter Mary, Ila Gee, from his bitter father-in-law. That paternalistic nature serves as an additional motivation for him to bring Jenny back together with Joe. Following the John Wick method of world building, the Russian mobsters here aren't your run-of-the-mill underworld kingpins. They possess their own secret bylaws, powerful networks, and complex internal workings, like an on-hand cleaning service for disposal of bodies. While Levon stashes his daughter for safekeeping and works to find Jenny, these mobsters conduct their own investigation to figure out why Levon is hunting them. These subplots, which seemingly only exist to tease a potential sequel, take a backseat because in reality Statham is the plot. Sure, Levon goes through the motions of searching for Jenny, some torturing here, some subterfuge there, but when he discovers his target, a wayward Russian playboy named Dimi Maximilian Osinski, there isn't any narrative tension to the standard-issue script adapted from Chuck Dixon's novel Levon's Case by Sylvester Stallone and Ayer. This is simply a means for Statham to inflict some on-screen damage. Statham, however, falls short of expectations. Levon makes a room in a downtown flophouse his base of operations. He tortures a Russian baddie in a luxe mansion and infiltrates a roadhouse located in the middle of nowhere, where he engages in a Stompfest soundtrack to Dropkick Murphys, The Boys Are Back. When Levon is finished smashing skulls and breaking elbows, Dutch Chidia Jufo, the roadhouse's boss, shakes Levon's hand in with his whole chest exclaims, "Look at them bricks. They're back. You're not a law enforcement officer. You're a hard-working individual." That amusing quip isn't exclusively for appreciation. It also hints at the film's hopeful audience. See, fewer and fewer films are set in the Midwest, and even less of them feature what might be termed a blue-collar hero, and while there aren't exactly deemed political themes here, Statham's portrayal of a larger-than-life, American, worker fighting against Russian influences is certainly significant, even though he is ironically a British actor. Though Statham delivers his end, Ayer's visual language is a mess. In approximately half of the shots, the lighting appears backlit and exaggerated, defying the laws of physics. The movie, set in Chicago, showcases more shots of the city's skyline than spoken words. Despite the numerous suggestions to visit Chicago, the film fails to establish a strong sense of place. What causes the strong winds to create a storm during the nighttime in one particular scene? This is the breezy metropolis, correct? I'm also usually not a stickler for a movie-making geographical sense when venturing across a city's grid. You shoot what locations you can, when and where you can, but if you're aware of Chicago's look and feel, Ayer's editing will throw you for a loop. How does William transition from a residential neighborhood to the bustling center of downtown, and then venture into the serene woodlands of Joliet? It's a bit of movie magic, where the constant switching between urban and rural settings serves to enhance the storyline of a mob-land saga, reminiscent of another Chicago action film called Next of Kin. Despite that, it's evident that Yesterday comprehends why individuals watch Statham's films. On top of his rugged and bruising fighting style, the deadpan one-liners, the nonsensical plotting, and, now, an everyman heroism are what makes Statham actions few top of the marquee stars. Even when there's a comically large moon that feels ripped from a Malese movie undercutting whatever emotional drama Air wants to pull in the film's climactic raid on a brothel, it doesn't matter. Regardless of the outlandishness or overcooked nature of the movie, The Meg, Wrath of Man, or The Beekeeper, demonstrated that it doesn't matter. Nothing can hinder Statham,